The other day I was at my local gun shop and happened to spy this little gem sitting in the case. It's one that I've been wanting to try for a while and just haven't come across it. But it happened to be payday and I happened to see it, so I happened to buy it. Let's take a look inside the box. Comes with the Ruger's marketing stuff. This is actually something about a recall or something. Nice little sticker. I guess that'll go on my gun cabinet. Some ask you to join the NRA, give me a couple bucks off. 20% off thing for Ruger.com for new Ruger owners at Shop Ruger. So interesting. But more importantly, the manual. Also comes with a locking device. Well, you know, a lock. A flat base plate for the magazine. This inert magazine, which we'll go over what its purpose is. And then, of course, the firearm itself in this nice, wonderful, handy plastic bag. There we see it. Let me go ahead and clear it. Has a ships with one single stack 7-round magazine. Has a manual safety, very reminiscent of the one on the Security 9. It's hinged in the front, just like that one is. Slide stop. This is a port for disassembly, and we'll go over that in a bit. On the other side, this says Ruger, Prescott, Arizona, USA, serial number, and then what's it say? Read instruction manual, etc., etc. It does have a magazine disconnect, so you cannot fire it with the magazine out. It will not pull the trigger. Speaking of which, the trigger has this Glock-like dingus on it as a trigger safety. Let's go ahead and insert the inert magazine so that we can rack the slide, and then I'll show you the trigger. It has a very, I do this with my left hand, very long take up to it. I mean, look at all that take up. Right about there you start to hit resistance, and then it's just steady resistance until it breaks. It's not much resistance, but it's there. When it breaks, it is very crisp and there's no over travel. Reset is right there. It's not a bad trigger. It is a striker fired design, not a hammer fired. As you can see, there's no hole back here for the hammer. Really thin is the first thing that comes to mind. This thing is almost exactly the same as the LC9s, the striker fired LC9. It's 7-round single stack. But the main difference being that the sights are not milled out. There's no dovetail. They're not adjustable. They are milled into the top of the slide. That's your sight picture right there. So it's not exactly the greatest sight picture in the world, but you know, I paid $225 for this weapon. So what are you going to expect for 225 bucks? You know, what you get is a really nicely finished. The finish is a black oxide, well manufactured, reliable, rugged Ruger pistol. I mean, I don't know what more you could ask for 200 bucks. I mean, you could get a Sky CPX2 for around that, but it's a much less reliable weapon with a lot less longevity than a Ruger. Let's go ahead and look at this disassembly process. In order to disassemble the weapon, you first clear it, make sure there's nothing in it. As you can see, there's nothing in the chamber, We have the inert magazine in, so we know there's no round. Go ahead and release the striker. And that's the purpose of the inert magazine, is so that you can safely release the striker when you disassemble it without risking having a full magazine in there. This has a magazine disconnect, so it will not fire. Again, it will not fire without a magazine in. The next thing you have to do is pull down this little door here. What that does is exposes the little pin that's in there. You have to push the slide back a bit and then push the pin out from this side. While holding the slide back, you have to insert a tool in this little space right there, which I'm using a paper clip, and try to push out the pin. You have to try and do this while making sure you have this exactly right, because otherwise it doesn't want to go. This complicated takedown procedure is the one thing that so far I do not like about this gun. So I'm going to go ahead and get that pin popped out and get back to you. There, finally got it out. It is a pain in the butt. At that point, take the slide off. Here you see the full-length aluminum rails. There's the ejector. Looking at the slide, it's pretty standard stuff. Let's go ahead and take the dual captive recoil spring and guide rod out. Then the barrel comes out pretty much like any other pistol. Forward a little bit, tilt it up, pull it out. Reassembly is just the reverse. Put the barrel in, put your guide rod in. You have this big flat piece, you want that facing the rear. The piece that has the springs closest to it, you want facing the front. You want to seat this big flat disc in that depression on the barrel. Replace the slide. Make sure the pin is in the proper place. I mean, not the pin, but the pin holes here. Put the pin in. Not sure that it matters which way it goes in, as long as it can get in there. Which may be a bit of a pain in the ass. Alright, now we got to start in there. Go ahead, push it in. See, this overcomplicated procedure is what I don't like about this. There we go. There, make sure it's all the way in. Push up on your little door. Function check. Slide works. Let's go ahead and insert the inert magazine. Pistol works. So, at 225 bucks, man, this is a really, really tough contender for the title of King of the Budget Pistols, I think. You know, it's a good American company with a reputation for living up to their slogan of rugged and reliable. I would not hesitate to carry this to protect my life. Ruger weapons are known for their for being just good value for the money. This is really going to, I think, this should push Sky out of the market. This is really encroaching on High Point territory, almost as far as price-wise goes. And you know, with manufacturing and materials and quality and whatnot, there's really no comparison. You know, this is a much easier pistol to carry than any High Point ever spawned, ever dreamed of being. So I think this would be a good solid bet for a concealed carrier on a budget or a first-time firearms owner. It'd be good for pocket carry. It's even really great to wear on the belt. You almost don't even notice it in a belt holster. So all in all, man, I definitely have to give this one a thumbs up at first look. Now, of course, that could change based on how it performs at the range, which we're going to do that video here as soon as the weather clears in Ohio. I'm Mike. This is Budget Guns and Gear Reviews. That was my look at the Ruger EC9s. If you like what you saw, please like, share, subscribe. Consider becoming a patron on my Patreon account. Every month I'm giving something out to my buddies over there, so go on over and check it out. And as always, come on back. Maybe we'll learn something together.